What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Certified Rippers production. We're starting off 2026 very strong. What's standing behind me is an Oxford White 2003 Mustang Mach 1. It's been kind of a wait on parts from the machine shop, etc., but we have everything we need. It's time to start getting to work. We've got the motor assembled. The motor was built by Mach. We have some ported heads with cams going on there. The car had already been boosted by another shop, another performance shop, well-known shop. I'm not going to say exactly who they are, but just know that they had made quite a few mistakes on this car when they had it. Aftermarket wiring just twisted together, stuff like that. Charged them a lot of money to powder coat stuff, and the powder coat job came out poorly, terribly. And on top of that, when we ripped the motor out, we just found so much wrong with everything. Initially brought the car to us just to say, hey, reseal the motor and just make sure the car is good so I can enjoy it, right? But as we dug into the motor more, we started noticing some mistakes that the shop had made when assembling the engine. Just pulled all the covers off of Jose's Mach 1 engine. Some metal within the oil pan. As you can see, there's like some sort of BB in there. Not sure where that can be from. Some miscellaneous shavings and stuff in there. Over here on the valve covers, it looks pretty cruddy in here. Not very clean. The pickup has a good bit of debris in it. Not a good sign. The number one rule of building a car is, especially an engine, keep everything as clean as possible. They made the mistake on this of just slapping it together with everything super crusty, super dirty. However, the car is here with us at KMJ Motorsports and Certified Rippers, and we're gonna make it indeed a certified ripper. Without further ado, I'm about to get into it. What we're gonna start with is I'm gonna start by cleaning the engine bay really well. I have not done that yet. I'm gonna foam it up, spray it down, pressure wash it, get it super clean. I can't wait to hear this thing with that cam, that Whipple, everything. It's gonna sound amazing. He's got Borla attack mufflers on it, so that chop really comes through. Even before we took it apart, it sounded fantastic. Let's get started. We got engines everywhere in here. As you guys can see right here, we're just doing some cleanup in the shop. Got the 351 Windsor from the Fun Bus. I know many of you guys probably don't remember that video, but plans with the 351. But we're not here to talk about this old, greasy, junky 351 small block. We're here to talk about what's in the bag. All right, and this is the fresh unit going in the Mach 1. As you can see, completely forged internal, built motor by Mach. Went ahead and put these ported 4 valve heads on there. Quick show you guys. As you guys can see, those are some huge freaking ports, dude. Huge, massive. This motor is gonna make some sauce. We're gonna start putting the oil pickup on. I've already filled the oil pump with some oil, you know, just to give that a little bit of something to work with. We don't want to start it dry. That's never what you want. We are also gonna prime this engine, but I did go ahead and fill the oil pump. Got the windage tray all cleaned up here. We also have our pedestal that I cleaned up. I also shaved it down a little bit. You're supposed to shave this down about 0.07 inches if you're using this ARP hardware like we are. So went ahead and already have done that. All right, now we have our brand new pickup. I've already cleaned it out. And we're gonna put a little oil on this O-ring here, and that's gonna pop right into place like so. All right, we're gonna start working on the rear main cover now. Just so you guys know, I don't know who needs to hear this, but you do not need that much RTV. Yeah, There's a certain point when you use so much RTV that it kind of just like will just lift right off. You're giving it leverage to just fail. All right, guys, so we're gonna take a moment to talk about the bane of my existence. The 03-04, actually technically 96 to 04 Cobra oil heater, okay? Actually, it's technically called an oil cooler, but you're just running hot coolant past the oil. Not my favorite device. SVT has done a lot of amazing things. This is not something that I necessarily agree with. However, it's what we have to work with. I always recommend deleting these. It is a little bit of a process. It is a little bit of customization that goes into deleting one of these. And since it's what we have, and we're trying to get this done in a timely manner, we're gonna go ahead and run with this. But I am gonna take the precaution to rebuild it. And I'm gonna show you guys how to do that right now. And of course, something to note about this oil cooler is the shop that was working on the Mach 1 that put this on, they actually didn't even put in this bolt right here. So technically, when this is on the car, you have to disassemble it by removing that rig right there. This whole threaded part comes out. It's really just gonna be, this one's already coming off pretty easily. The O-rings in there probably already shot on this. As for this part, the only O-ring on this section is just gonna be this top one here. So go ahead and take that out real quick. Perfect. Crusty. And the way to get this apart is you kind of just stick something in here to pry with. Be careful, because it is kind of fragile in there. It is like a intercooler type deal, you know, like a radiator. So it's very thin aluminum. You kind of just want to be real nice to it. Give her a good smack. It's coming now. There we go. All right, so now this section pops out. As you can see, that's your oil cooler right there. Again, all these O-rings, no good. Toss them all in the trash. Don't want to mix them up with your new O-rings. All right, now that we got that all separated, we're gonna go ahead and unbox our rebuild kit here. But what I like to do with the brand new O-rings here that you see, I like to take these and I like to dump them into some oil. So here we've got a bowl of some 530 or something like that, just some motor oil, whatever works. And while these are soaking, we're gonna go ahead and take these pieces here and we are going to go ahead and clean them up. Start with the easiest of them all. You always want to be just nice and easy. Be very careful not to nick it or stretch out the O-ring too much. So now we're going to take this rig. I like to do just like this. Pop it down like that. Nice. All right, guys, the motor is upside down, but I'm going to go ahead and install the oil cooler. I want to prime this engine before I put the valve covers on. I want to make sure that oil is coming out of all the proper places. Everything looks good. Everything checks out. So, and one thing I like to do just before I install it is I like to check my gasket. Now, a lot of these 4.6s, they have different style gaskets that go here, and if you have the wrong one that doesn't match up to your block or your piece, you could have some potential leaks. Perfect. Now we're basically just trying to slip it on that O-ring first, making sure we don't hurt it. Perfect. Plopped right on there. All right, now she's torqued to 53.5 foot-pounds. Oil cooler is now officially installed. Just because it's a completely aftermarket engine, one thing I want to do is just kind of stick the bore scope in there. So as you guys can see there, up on the left, that's our oil pickup. And if you notice underneath it, we have plenty of room. So we know for a fact that we're not gonna have any pickup suffocation problems. All right, and with the sensor out, we now have access to the port that we are gonna use with our garden sprayer to prime the engine. And once we shove some oil in there, it'll build a little bit of oil pressure, and we should be seeing oil come up through the heads. Just like that. As you guys can see, ready to go. Now we're gonna start filling with oil, start pumping. All right guys, we got some braking oil for this freshly built engine. And if you guys are wondering why I wanted to prime it with the valve covers off, let me show you why. We sourced these heads, you know, nice ported heads and everything. A lot of, they were missing a lot of the plugs and stuff that were required. So we just wanted to test it. And as you can see here, if we would have put the valve covers on, we would have missed that plug right there. And as you can see, it's making a bit of a mess, but no big deal. We can fix it real quick before the valve covers are on, and it's gonna be good to go. But just looking out for problems like that. This wouldn't have been an issue at all with just, you know, a stock replacement set of heads or whatever the case, but these have had some serious work done with them, so. And this is what we wanted to see and verify. As you guys can see, tensioner, leaking oil, that's fine. Making a mess, but that's not a big deal. This one, you can see it right there. It's bleeding out all that air, getting pumped up. And if we come back to the back of the cams here, you guys will notice some oil coming out of the back. Shows that the cam's being saturated with oil. And just like that, our stock supercharger is all taken apart. Just took me maybe 5 minutes. As you can see, our intercooler brick looks real nasty. We're gonna go ahead and clean that up real nice. They get super gross when the cars utilize their factory PCV system. For any Terminator guys or performance cars at all, I don't recommend running the factory PCV system. Run a catch can or something. This is what your insides look like. Also, this oil getting into your motor can cause detonation amongst other issues as well. It's not what you want. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our stock intercooler bolts here and we're gonna throw these right in the trash to ensure that they never go on another supercharger again. Those are one-time use, do not reuse the original intercooler bolts. We have some new ones to put on the new supercharger when the time comes. But we're gonna clean this up and we're gonna clean that up and we're gonna make a baby. A Whipple baby. Let's do it. All right, we got some nice, freshly cleaned up and painted parts here. Got the intercooler brick nice and cleaned up. And then we painted some things over here. They look amazing, way better than they did before. So now it is time to start assembling the Whipple. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take these guys right here and we're gonna replace these O-rings on the, don't know exactly what you'd call these guys, but we'll call them intercooler stems because why not? So on these intercooler stems, you always want to replace the O-rings. I have some brand new O-rings right here. Gonna oil those up and swap those on. If you forget to replace these O-rings, and I always recommend that you replace them. If these O-rings fail or do not operate as they are intended to, you will have a coolant leak inside of your supercharger, and that's just not what you want. Then you have to pull the whole thing back off, and this and that other thing, not fun. So always remember to swap those O-rings. So I'm gonna take our nice freshly painted manifold here. We're gonna pop those rigs right on in there. So I should just pop nice and tightly in. Just like that. Man, oh man, I can't wait to hear this Whipple do some whining. and making some boost. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit of a brake clean, and we're gonna go ahead and take this and we're gonna clean the mating surface is real nice and clean. You don't want to leave any oil on anything you're going to RTV. If you're going to RTV a surface, always make sure it's nice and clean. I like to take a little compressed air and just make sure there's no debris in the blower or on top of the intercooler, because we don't want that in our supercharger. We definitely don't want that in our motor. So now something like this is what you want. Nice thin coat. Then we're gonna take that and we're just going to plop her right down on our supercharger, and it's leaking. That's not what we want. But no matter how much you drain these things, they'll never drain enough. Line up our bolts and plop her down. Cool. Let's just take our Loctite here, just dab a little bit on the edge of the bolt, like so. Just a little bit. That might be a little too much even, but just a little bit on the edge of the bolt. We're gonna go right in the intercooler brick, just like so. Intercooler brick is on! Oh. And just like that, we have a Whipple Supercharger ready to be bolted on a Terminator engine. Wow, this thing is so pretty. I'm really glad that he found one that was nice and polished up. It's gonna look amazing next to the wide valve covers. As a matter of fact, I want to go see what that thing's gonna look like on this engine right now, because it looks good. It's gonna sit on those things. Damn, son. Sheesh. If that thing isn't fresh to you, then you don't know what fresh is, son. Look at that rig right there. Go ahead and wipe my blood off of it. I cut my finger pretty good on the intake when we were grabbing it to put it on. So blood, sweat, and tears, baby. That's the name of the game. Now we just got to bolt on a few more things, and this gets to go in this.
I give in to the lesser fight. My body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching today's video. It was more than a pleasure having you here with me as we get this beautiful 4-valve ready to go into this beautiful Mach 1. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, this is my first video that you guys have ever seen. Go ahead and do me the courtesy, the favor of hitting the subscribe button. If you enjoy what you see, there's plenty more content like it. Check out my channel. Thanks for watching, and you guys have a nice day.